Should we be on strike? Should
Oh, yeah,
Pro
we're
Till
on strike.
Friday
We're on
be
strike right now.
strike?
We're on strike.
Everybody's on strike. All
Why do you
the
think
podcasts
Michael's
should be
here?
on strike too. I know Michael's on strike.
Well,
Yeah,
we're,
Michael's
oh
on
yeah,
strike.
Michael's
Michael's on
a
strike.
true actor writer.
Yes.
He is on strike. No, I think it's because
Actually,
he
I
worked.
did go to one of the things.
It's because he worked hospitality. That's why he's on
Ooh,
strike.
there it is. Hospitality.
Hospitality.
Uber counts as hospitality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
You're
working
delivering
on
food directly and
Figueroa. He's right there.
Figueroa hospitality.
I think you just get shot.
Yeah.
No. You haven't seen the Figueroa hospitality? Remember the YouTube search history?
It's Michael's prostitute.
Oh.
It affected Deadpool 3.
Yes.
Deadpool
Yeah.
3. Did you see the images of Deadpool 3?
Loki, I feel
Edward?
like you should have gotten yes though with the Wolverine, the white
With his
the
claws.
white suit.
The
Yellow
20th
suit.
Century Fox.
Yeah,
thing
so-
on the beach.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But it's affected it first the writer strike because obviously they're not paying the writers enough, right? It affected it because Ryan Reynolds' contract as a writer, he was unable to do any improvisation, right? Now fully affected because now the actors are on strike, and I saw some of the main news outlets that are like, wow, this is the craziest thing. It's such a struggle and it's a complicated issue. And it's like, no, it's not a complicated issue. Just fucking pay them more and they wouldn't have to do this. The reason they have this right to strike is because they feel they're having unfair working conditions, especially in this kind of streaming era. Mark Prosh, who plays Colin Robinson in What We Do in the Shadows, he also played Nate in The Office. He said he's made more money in residuals from 19 episodes in The Office than he's made as a main character on What We Do in the Shadows. So imagine that. Like, that's how the deals aren't as good as they used to be because, of course, back then, if you were on The Office or something, boom, you were set for life, literally, because that was like a huge TV show, right?
Yeah.
But because of like streaming and everyone's like, but we don't know what the real numbers are, even though the companies obviously do know what the real numbers
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
They
the
just don't want to
companies do.
release them. Fuck Netflix. And they're keeping all that power, like what would usually be like the Nielsen ratings and stuff, right? The Nielsen ratings are what gave people power because they can go, I know for a fact The Office is the number one show because 30 million people watched it last night or whatever, things like that. But now that it's not as transparent anymore, you have a harder time bargaining because you
Yeah.
can kind of go, well, according to our numbers, you should be getting paid this. And it's like,
Right.
what are the numbers? Like, well, it's confidential information. We're not going to share it with you.
There's some proto numbers, but like there's nothing as credible as like the Nielsen ratings for streaming services.
So streaming isn't young, right? But it's still it's
it's
expanding.
very young.
Very,
It's very young.
but Netflix
Rel-
has been around like 10 years already.
But no.
Yeah, but don't forget,
Streaming-wise.
Netflix started as a mailing DVD service.
Also-
Yeah.
It's been
You mean
almost
5-6 years.
No, it's been
No.
it's been like 20 years,
like
dude.
21.
No, I'm not
20
talking about
something.
Netflix as a company, but like streaming. Yeah.
Well, streaming has been a
Like
thing since
2009.
2008, 2009.
Yeah.
So with the rise of YouTube,
Because
and
I remember
people
being in
just
like an
pirating
acting
stuff-
agency, and that was like the whole thing. Like I used to be like one of those people that were like I was at a school that they would like funnel people into like acting and modeling and stuff like that. And I was in a couple of stuff, and like the big news that the thing was like, oh look, Netflix it came out with this thing, and you can search up whatever movie,
Right.
blah blah blah
But
blah.
my thing is like I think this was bound to happen because like there's so many companies like
with their own streaming services.
doing it
We've
so
gone back to
quickly.
cable.
Yeah, no, and like
No, not
they
yet.
weren't thinking about this ahead of time, right?
Well,
Or they were, but
No.
you
So,
know.
so it was bound to happen because of the corporate greed. Like at end of the day, it's corporate greed,
Corporate
right?
greed, corporate
but
greed, yes.
more specifically, it's gone back to that whole cable thing because back then it was like you have your movies on Netflix and your TV shows on Hulu, but now it's like we got Paramount Plus, we've got Nick Jr., we've got Max instead of HBO Max, we've got Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, you got fucking Discovery Plus, and now they have or ESPN Plus, fucking Showtime. Like there's so many
Yeah, but
things.
think about it
now
now.
they bundle them though.
Right.
That's
Think
the
about
thing.
this,
There's
like-
only one that's
like-
bundled though.
Like they used to do this with cable, right? Where they would go, you bundle together premium channels.
Yeah.
But there's like a Hulu, Disney
Right.
Plus, ESPN
But
one.
think about it
that's
like
the
this,
only
right?
one that's bundled though.
There's a
After all
Showtime
these-
Hulu one.
After all these negotiations can happen, people are gonna have to get paid more, right?
Mhm.
So that's gonna cause all these streaming services to collapse.
It's
That's why I think it's gonna happen.
I don't think it's going to collapse because
Well, at
the
least
streaming,
they're
the
gonna boil it
shitty
down
ones.
It's not
to,
going
like,
to collapse
4 or
because
5.
because they have to pay the writers. It's going to collapse because they're already untenable. Paramount Plus isn't exactly raking in big numbers. Netflix is already kind of failing. That's why they have to keep increasing
Well, they
the prices
barely
every other day.
became profitable this year, right? Or
Netflix
last year?
hasn't. It still hasn't really. It's losing revenue at like
I think-
lightning speed.
Yeah, but it's been around forever. But I think something like that. They barely became profitable. I think because of like I don't know some of the bigger shows. But
Yeah, no,
crazy.
it's because it's too spread out. But I wouldn't say they're
Oh.
at cable prices yet.
Netflix has been profitable since 2003.
Yeah.
So,
no way.
yep.
Yeah,
Well,
Reaching a profit of 4.49 billion in 2022.
yeah, it's been profitable. But what I'm saying, it's like it's been losing revenue like lightning fast in the recent years, mostly because for a variety of reasons.
Netflix
but-
generated nearly 8.16 billion US dollars in the first quarter of 2023
yeah,
alone.
and check how much they made before.
They made a profit of 4.49 billion in
You know
2022.
what's crazy?
Yeah.
Maybe I've heard that from some fucking Netflix people. Like, oh, we don't make money. You know.
Probably.
That's
Probably,
crazy.
yeah.
Some fake fucking news thing.
So
It's crazy.
it had a record profit of 5.11 billion in
What are the
2021.
users numbers?
Yeah,
well,
and they've been
they're-
dropping ever since.
They're not going to show us that.
Well, didn't they get a bump because of the whole password sharing crackdown thing?
no,
they
people
saw a
had to-
loss. They saw a loss.
Netflix net profit grew in 2023 to 12.22 billion. So
Mm.
even though let me see.
That's crazy. I looked at my thing. I had 10 people on it. On my Netflix account, dude. I'm like, they're not cracking down
Well,
shit.
So remember,
crazy.
I think they're targeting the way they do the crackdowns to higher income areas first,
Really?
and then they go to the lower income areas. That's why we haven't gotten crackdown either, but because we're registered in 90255, you know. But you've seen some places like Netflix Canada and other places where it's like, yeah, they've started to crack down. But if anything, that's just increased their user base, which is exactly
Right.
what they thought was going to
In
happen.
the higher.
'Cause,
Wait,
yeah.
has it?
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't.
their users have gone up after Netflix cracking.
Right. Some people can't
Contrary
live
to what
without
the
it.
internet says, it's like, we're gonna fuck you up. And it's like, we did it, Reddit. No, you didn't do shit, because unfortunately they were right. People at the end of the day, if they really want Netflix, they're gonna pay for
They're
Netflix.
gonna buy Netflix, yeah.
Yeah. I know everyone's like, oh, password sharing used to be such a thing, but it's like, well, if they're unable to make a profit from those additional users because they're not getting an actual subscription out of them, there's no reason for them to allow that model to keep going, you know? If they have the proof, which they now do, that charging people for their own account is going to be profitable, which it is, then they're just going to be, everyone's going to keep doing it.
Let's make a forecast, right? Who's gonna be the top 3 in like 5 years?
Disney Plus, Hulu, and Netflix. It's going to be pretty much the same
I
stuff.
think they're trying to fold in Hulu to Disney Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hulu's
No,
not
no,
going to
no, no,
exist
no.
That's the
anymore.
plan.
Nope.
No,
ESPN
Hulu's
and
not going to
Disney
be
and
around
Hulu.
for much longer. It's already on its last leg. It's
Hulu-
lost a lot of its unique content.
Hulu, even though with like 20th Century Fox being bought up by Disney, right? Hulu still has a bunch of FX shows. It still has a bunch
Yeah.
of
Well, they're
That
trying
it's
to-
losing
they're-
rapidly.
They're
They're
maturing
not really
Disney
adding a lot of
Plus
stuff.
to include all this new
Yeah.
stuff. Even like R-rated stuff.
Overseas, they're incorporating it
mature
already.
Content. Yeah, they're trying to make it into all-encompassing, so they don't have to support. They can just use the servers just for Disney Plus. You know what I
Then
mean?
it's probably going to be Disney Plus, Max, and Netflix.
Yeah, I think Max is probably gonna buy fucking
Discovery.
Paramount, Discover,
Paramount.
like all these. Yeah, maybe Amazon is still around, but that's just included with a membership, right?
Yeah, but I mean, there's been so many good shows coming out of Amazon Prime. Like
You
they're
get
not going to stop.
Amazon,
you
you get freaking Audible, you get freaking Prime, you get the video, you get a lot of cool shit.
know? Yeah.
It's pretty worth it. Yeah, that one's pretty good. But yeah, we're striking. All right, goodbye.
That's how you should end
Give
the
us some of
podcast.
this fucking money.
Honestly,
Who
A
freaking
lot has
owns
been happening
Google?
with
I don't
Netflix
know.
user count since the first quarter of 2022 when it lost worldwide streaming subscribers for the first time in a decade.
Mhm.
So it's been losing numbers ever since they started instituting the password
Well,
crackdown.
they
'Cause
did-
I know for sure most of the people that I know that were sharing didn't re-up, and the people that were paying for that account, they stopped using it
the password crackdown didn't start until after March.
until after March.
And first quarter is only through March, but I'm pretty sure that's why they saw the for the first time ever they say that they're losing
yeah,
users.
so
Maybe
wait,
the
yeah, so
hype
then
of,
right
like-
now, so I guess we won't know the numbers for quarter 2 until
Right,
later
right.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in quarter 3,
So maybe the hype.
we
the
started hearing about it
scare-
last year, no?
Maybe the scare made them drop.
Because I know for sure I canceled my Netflix. I don't have Netflix anymore.
Canceled your Netflix.
Yeah, so everyone
How
that was
could
using the
you?
Netflix on my account, none of them have bought their their own Netflix. I don't have Netflix anymore. We either all went to people who are still paying for their Netflix. So basically, the password sharing thing got even worse because they lost at least my account and a few of the other people that I know that also canceled their Netflixes, and they were also password sharing, and we all got folded into another
What shows
thing.
do you guys like on Netflix?
We don't use it. We don't use it.
Just
The-
Umbrella Academy, right? It's the
not
only
even
thing you would
that.
watch
Not
on
even
that?
that.
So we know Q2 actually already.
Oh.
Netflix, they were forecasting a 2 million subscriber loss. They only lost 970,000 subscribers, and now they're forecasting a 1 million Q3 gain. So,
Because people are gonna miss it. Yeah.
pretty much. So
Wait,
and
but-
that they beat their expectations by over 50%.
Wait, where's
which
that?
is
Because
pretty
I'm
nuts.
reading they only got 100K subscribers.
It's on Forbes. Not
No. So Hollywood
Yeah.
Reporter, Netflix Q2 2022 earnings as of July 29th.
Screenshot that. Put that.
Sorry, July. Oh, oops. I'm looking at Q2 2022. I'm a fucking
Yeah.
idiot.
Like in Q2 2023, they only got about 100K. Oh yeah,
So-
100,000.
oh.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm trying
In
to
like unique new ones, not the ones that they were already estimating. Like as a result of the thing, which is still let me
Netflix
see.
projected to add 2 million new subscribers in 2023 Q2 earnings 9 hours ago.
Oh wow.
Fuck. I told you though.
Projected.
Yeah.
Wait, that's still just projected though. So we still gotta wait
Ad-supported
to see.
tier is paying off, it says.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, supposedly, because projected means it's coming from the company, and of course they're going to project an increase.
Well, they're not just going to blatantly lie and go,
Well,
here's
no, but they
2
can definitely
million.
fudge the numbers. They do that with shows all the time and
Well,
movies.
I was going to say, you can't fudge 2 million new
Yeah, you can.
subscribers.
You definitely can.
Not to your shareholders.
I could
Yeah,
do
you
it.
can. You
I
definitely
could
can.
do
They
it.
did that
I
with
could
the
fudge
TV
2
shows and the
million.
movies.
2 million.
I could do it. Watch tomorrow on the freaking Instagram. 2 mil.
We've got a bunch of Russian
It's just bots.
people, yeah, and the Pakistani people and like all the Indian people, and
Milk till Friday.
pretty much.
Yeah, but
well-
in general, consensus saw investors banking on approximately 2.3 million net additions. Yeah, that's just the investors banking on it. But of course, they're banking on that. They're going to make profit if that
They're
happens.
investors.
Yeah,
Anyways.
like,
But I mean,
that's of course.
We'll,
like
we'll
that's
probably
a given.
see that. We'll probably see that by mid-July then, because I mean, it's the 14th, right?
Yeah.
But we'll
They're gonna
probably
have to
see
make some
that.
like
So
kind
we'll
of
see it soon.
algorithm to get these people paid, right? In residuals from now on.
No,
'Cause
I don't
that's-
know.
That's the thing I was saying about the residuals. One of
Okay.
the writers on that are on TikTok, the ones participating in the strike,
Mm-hmm.
they were basically showing residuals for some of their shows, and in some
Terrible.
of them they were getting negative in residuals, and they
How
were
do you
like
get
they were like
negative
they were
residuals?
like they were doing the TikTok thing where it's like, hey, how I forgot what they were
Sounds like
showing
a
the
fake
residuals
fact,
for.
Edward.
No,
Just
like
kidding.
legit,
There's a
and
video of
it was
Ron
like
Perlman. You
yeah,
seen
like
A negative 1 cent residual.
yeah, exactly. That's the one I
that?
saw.
You owe us a cent.
Yeah, like the residuals thing was crazy.
I'm gonna show you this video of Ron Perlman. He's talking about the strike.
Oh, it's not common. It's an accounting issue.
Yeah, it's an accounting issue, but it was happening, and it was indicative of how little they actually care about the residuals happening. But like when they get the residuals, like they don't respect the writers at fucking all.
Oh, it's-
Like they
it's
absolutely dog walk them.
The average writer makes $69,000 a year, which is like
That's only like
what's that? $30 an hour?
that's
Probably less.
only like 10K more than like my part time. Like
Literally.
and they do so much more work than I do.
Yeah, so divided by 40 hours, divided by 52 weeks, $33. They're not working 40 hours a week.
No,
they're
no,
working
they're
like
not.
60 or 80. You know, it's a fuck ton
Yeah.
of work.
Not to mention all the extra stuff that goes on because they have seasons where they don't work at all. Because
Yeah,
you know,
that
they-
too.
They have to do other stuff. Yeah. Because they're on call for like a
They'll
certain.
they'll be taking fucking
TV show
part-time
or-
jobs at
yeah.
Trader Joe's for a couple of
All right,
months.
check this out.
The motherfucker who said we're going to keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments.
Somebody said that.
The executive.
Listen to me, mother.
Disney exec.
There's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it is financial, some of it is karma, and some of it is just figuring out who the said that. And we know who said that. And where he lives.
Let's go and kill him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to lose your house. You wish that on people. You wish that families starve
Why is this so
while
close
you're
to
making
his face?
$27 million a year for
That's
creating
how old people do
nothing.
TikTok.
He's like this.
Be careful, mother. Be really careful. Because that's the kind of that stirs up. Peace out.
Okay.
Did Ron Perlman just advocate for us to arson? To
Yes.
commit arson?
Okay. Look,
I'm
here's my hot take. I do think we're gonna start seeing, like, if this continues on for long enough, I do think we are gonna start seeing that sort of stuff, because that's what we saw during the last Gilded Age, and we're currently in another Gilded Age. Right around when the last Gilded Age, when stuff like this started happening, unions started getting stronger. Protesters started dying. They started gunning them down, and they started dragging.
They're gonna
people.
gun down Ryan Reynolds in the street.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what happened with the last strikes, when the union started getting strong again. The
We
U.S.
started to move
government
away
did
from
carpet
steam
bomb
power to electric power.
them. Yeah,
Yeah. So.
during the industrial
Revolution.
the industrial
Resolution.
The industrial revolution. Yeah, they like, read up on it. They carpet bombed some of the protesters. Unironically, police carpet bombed people.
We went from HD to 4K.
Exactly.
Honestly.
So I
The
do
next
think that we're gonna
revolution.
start seeing an increase in like violence towards protesters, and as a result, we are gonna start seeing.
Look, but it's not just
Wait,
the
wait.
writers and the actors. Now
Yeah.
it's hospitality. Now it's
Yeah,
like,
that's why.
well,
As
the
more
teachers,
industries join the
all-
protests.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, as more
Once the
teachers
farm
start
workers
teachers.
start doing it.
Yeah.
that's
The
just
farm
gonna be
workers already
crazy.
stopped doing that shit in Florida because
Yeah.
it was all Hispanic people who were protesting the law.
Oh yeah,
Well,
construction workers. yeah, farm
that was the different
workers.
thing. They all left the state. It wasn't a strike. They just were like, "Fuck this
They
state."
were like, goodbye.
Say it in Spanish.
Adios.
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 As more industries start to join like the strike, as more industries start to do that, we're going to start seeing an effect on the economy. Once we see that, we're going to start seeing an increase in state force to get them back to work. We're going to start seeing the state use their power to get them back into their thing. And that's what's happened historically. That's what happened with the railroad union. The state essentially said, let's get back to work. But this time, if the workers decide, hell no, we're not going to, we're part of a union, we're going to keep this going, we're going to start seeing them use more forceful methods of trying to get them to go back to work. Right now, the state is on the side of the union. Like LA was like, hey, not WJ, the other one, the AMP, whatever the fuck the
AMPM.
Yeah, AMPM, whatever the fuck.
Too
it's
much
called.
good stuff.
Exactly. You got to go back to the negotiating table, and they were like, no, we're not going to do that. You know, they even sent that anonymous executive to go like, we're going to wait them out until they starve. But if the strikers continue to do this, eventually the state is going to try to use force. And once that happens, well, once you cross the line of violence, it's not really a way back.
Okay.
The protesters are going to start going after the executives.
Well, the executive's never going to be stepping foot in front of them, so.
Doesn't matter. They're going to find a way. You really think that like
They're gonna
that
be the
like
Cayman
eventually,
Islands,
yeah. You really think that like a lot of people that are here, like a lot of the executives have to be here sometimes for meetings and for other stuff. You really think they're not going to catch at least one or two slipping?
For trips to Figueroa.
Like
I doubt it.
the protesters during the Gilded Age when the robber barons were a big thing never caught like Carnegie or fucking what's that other place, Rockefeller, but they did catch a lot of their high level people, and they did get their throats slit.
I
You might
don't
not see
think
Bob
we're gonna
Iger.
see. Yeah, I was like, I don't
You're
think
not
we're
probably
gonna
not
see
gonna see
his
Bob Iger.
executive administrative assistant getting her throat slit in the middle of fucking
Hey,
Disney.
they did it. They did it to like a lot of the robber baron people.
Yeah,
they did it to a
300
lot of
years
them.
ago.
Dude, history is not over. Shit is gonna happen. You push
History
people far
is
enough.
over,
History is
actually.
not
History
over.
itself.
History-
History's like this is like a liberal tendency
At
to
the
assume
end-
that like the things that happened in the past can't come back and happen
At the
again.
end of my history
Happen
textbook,
again.
it said the end, therefore nothing
Yeah.
else happens, okay?
No, but it's
Don't
a
worry.
tendency. It's
To
a
be
tendency for people
continued.
to think that bad things that happened before can't happen again.
It's gonna.
That's
Like-
not true. There's no such thing as Nazis anymore, Edward. You're crazy.
Exactly.
You're crazy.
Exactly. Like, it can happen again, and we are in another Gilded Age. The dominoes that set up the things that led to people like murdering certain robin barons are setting up again.
I
We
prefer
are
Pizza
seeing
Hut.
similar situations happen. Will it definitely happen? No. You never know. I can't say definitely. But you do see the dominoes starting to be put in
It's
place.
a non-zero chance.
Yes, it is now a non-zero
It
chance.
is a
for it
non-zero
happening.
chance that Jeff Bezos will come in and give us $1 billion each.
He's gonna come in a mech
Aw,
suit,
come-
dude. And start
it's
fucking
not
fighting
that
all this shit, dude. Him and fucking Zuckerberg.
He's gonna be
they're
Lex
team
Luthor.
Up, dude. They're gonna, like take everybody
Combined.
Yeah. Nah, it's not that unlikely. It's not that unlikely.
All right, well-
I don't think so. It's my hot take. It's my hot
There,
take.
there were a couple of projects that have been disrupted. Some Marvel stuff we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, basically everything's at a standstill now with the actors striking, but at least we can do our review.
Down.